So, Michael, there's always sorts of trends and new dresses, new TV shows, new this, new that. And obviously in the world of graphic design, there's all sorts of different trends and even house colors, things like that. But we're here to talk about fonts. Like what's, and I know you've been doing some research yourself and what's kind of the trending in fonts as we head into 2023.
Well, we've done a lot of videos where it's design trends for 2022, 2021, stuff like that in the past. And you had a great idea to do font trends.
Yeah.
And I do like that. Fonts are very important. Do not use papyrus, people.
You guys should do up a t-shirt with that. Do not use papyrus, people. I love it.
But, when you're talking about fonts and the way you use them, you really can convey a whole different message, and it really affects then the whole design of whatever you're doing. And I love fonts personally. I definitely think that switching from one to another font can totally change what you're looking at from a design standpoint.
Yep.
So font trends could also be considered design trends. So let's get into them. So the first one that I saw, and this is an article on 99 Designs, and they are pretty good at putting lists like this together, and I've used them in the past and looked at their stuff. And if you're a designer and you're just even looking for something new to try and to really get your skills up to date, I would definitely check these out and try to do something similar because they're fun. So mall goth fonts. So think late 90s Hot Topic.
Yeah,
That's what it says in the article. And it does think barbed wire and skulls and more of this gothic hard font.
Little dark,
yes.
gritty. Yeah.
Yes. And I personally like that style. I think it's really good. It's really good maybe for like a metal band t-shirt or something like that. And it's definitely a trend. It's definitely going to be here to stay for a while, and it's definitely a strong one that you should try out. So liquid chrome is the second one.
Ooh, I can kind of, I'm thinking of old albums myself when I see it.
Yeah, it's like bubbly and obviously liquid looking and flowing. It's not really my favorite, but it's a happy look to it with some bright colors. It's definitely something different. It's definitely something to try or at least to look into with these flowy fonts,
Liquid chrome.
Like 70s Y2K bubbly style or whatever what they had in there. So vintage narrow serifs. Think fashion prints of the 80s is what this one was. I personally really like these. You've got these really strong, narrow fonts with your serifs on it, and it, like Vogue magazine, type of stuff. And that's been in style. They've been a little bit fatter as of late, but now they've made them skinnier, and I definitely think.
And we're talking real skinny and fine, right? Hey, just while we're there, and you're a printer, I mean, are there certain papers that might not work as well on, only because it might bleed more? Is that any consideration with your fonts?
No, I wouldn't be overly concerned with it. Any decent printer is going to be able to handle very skinny lines.
I don't know there's certain papers though, like this is stupid, but printing a manila paper would be like, it might soak it too much, like for a really, really thin font.
The only thing is if you were doing a very textured stock with a very thin font, that it trying to go around that texture would make that line move a little bit or look bad or even potentially disappear a little bit in some spots.
But for the most part, that would have to be a really textured, like almost like a handmade paper.
It would have to be very textured for sure. So I like that one personally. It's probably my favorite on here that I would use, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, that's just an old, strong look, and I'm digging it. Bright red was the next one, number 4. And I don't know, you see, it had all the options that it had on there showed was these big red fonts, bubbly, strong, big, show off your brand, and then it had also like fun, thin characters done in that red. And was talking about how the red is a little bit easier than harken back to the black used. in comic strips and stuff like that. And I did like the way that looked, and I do want to try that one as well. There's a lot of good options on that actual link for the 99 Designs one, and it softens light-hearted characters around it. It's a good one to try for sure. Variable fonts. This is just using basic fonts that everybody's seen, known, and liked, and then stretching them to maybe make some sort of shape or pattern or to flow with something else. I definitely think it's a good one to try. It's very easy. You take the font into Illustrator and then you make them outlines and you start pulling those little the little handles there to move stuff around.
So it's almost like in the font and it's almost making it literally almost a piece of art on the page a little bit. I mean, that's
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's neat.
And you definitely can get really creative, and there's a lot of good examples of that too. So I did really like variable. I mean, that's variable fonts also was using altering it to show movement and stuff like that. The next one is distorted fonts, which is also very similar. It's just distorting fonts. Again, it's using that to demand attention into different areas or to have different things in there. And it was really a good one. That it looked like the 8 one too, which is iconic mashup, where you could incorporate icons and different things.
Oh,
so then you use also normal fonts.
Right into the fonts. And, so that's...
Yeah. So
again, it's another art way, but there's probably different moods with these. Like when I hear the distorted, there's that's not going to go. You're not going to design like a church, no, a church piece for that. The sermon that week with that, but it does have a good look to it. The last one, since I already kind of jumped ahead to the iconic matchup, would be the Art Deco revival. I really like Art Deco. I do too, man. Art Deco.
20s. This is now the 2020s. So
100 years.
Yeah, 100 years later. Hopefully that roaring 20s feel and strong, but with, it's more of a contemporary Art Deco, and it said reclaiming opulent optimism.
The Great Gatsby. Yeah, that's what you think about.
So I really liked it too, because you're thinking about how they're doing Art Deco, at least in the Cleveland area, with the Guardians and stuff like that. And that's not only in style what they say in the font trends for 2023, but also something that you're seeing more of just around town with new branding for even our sports teams. So I would check it out. Hopefully that's a somewhat all right overview.
It's fun. If you're a designer, this is fun stuff to talk about. And where'd you get this information? Where did you get
This was on 99 Designs.
99 Designs. You might want to check it out. Hey, and if you're watching it, you're not really a designer, or you're just dabbling and you need some help. I know these guys, as well as printing, you do designing. I mean, if somebody needs help, with a marketing piece or just whatever you have, and you don't feel up to it yourself, or you don't have anybody, these guys are always up on the latest design trends, and obviously on how to take those designs and make them look really, really good in the real world in print. So hey, Michael, thanks a lot for sharing that. That's interesting stuff. Thanks. A lot of fun.